This is a dream world. I'm convinced of it. This isn't real life because just in this past week, the news that's been coming out just doesn't make sense. It literally goes against all logic of reality because we have pastors coming out saying that instead of teaching the gospel of Christ, we need to get people in church by selling weed.
I'm looking for people that smell like weeds. No, really, is New Birth is the largest land-owning black church in America. And so my position to my deacons is, why aren't we not raising cannabis? I'll be able to bring in black males. They're able to do it legally. I'm teaching them farming.
Oh my God.
I'm helping them to enhance the ecosystem. This is the kind of conversation. So if the guy, black boy in Bankhead said, they growing weed at the church, where do I join?
Yes.
I don't need no pamphlet for him. I'm looking for people that smell like weed.
This is Jamal Harrison Bryan out of Atlanta. If you don't know who he is, he got caught up in a couple of scandals at his old church, but now he's moved on to New Birth. And New Birth, honestly, your pastor selections are pretty terrible. But instead of teaching about the resurrection of Christ, he instead wants to teach people how to make money and get black men in the church by selling weed because, black men love weed. Then we have the story out of Virginia where this restaurant by the name of Gore Melts actually had to deal with law enforcement shutting down his restaurant to enforce COVID restrictions. Yes, I said COVID restrictions, and it's 2022.
It's a board order. It's a your license.
Right.
That license is the one that permits you to sell and serve alcohol.
So they revoked my license for not following COVID mandates. So now you guys are coming to confiscate all my stuff for that, right? How do you feel about that?
Yes, sir. Okay. License was revoked.
But how do you feel? How do you feel about coming to shut a man's business down for not following COVID mandates that are unconstitutional? How do you feel about that? How you feel about that, sir? How do you feel about that? Huh? Just doing your job? Just doing your job? That's what they said in Germany too, man. They're just doing their job.
We're not here to discuss whether or not
You're not here to discuss whether or not they're unconstitutional. You're just here to do your job, right? So you're part of the problem, man. I want you to know that. You're part of the problem. 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 Everybody in here, every one of you, man. What's going on in this country right now? The reason that we're in the situation we're in as the United States of America, you're part of the problem, sir. So you can't complain about what the president's doing. You can't complain about the state that the country's in right now. You can't complain about how screwed up it is. You're part of the problem, sir. You're shutting down a man's livelihood for not following COVID mandates that didn't do anything to prevent COVID. And it was actually detrimental to the community. And not just the community, to our kids, man. It set our kids back so many years, these mandates. It set small businesses back so many years. It destroyed small businesses, man. It destroyed them. It destroyed families. It destroyed our community. And it destroyed our country. And nobody in here gives a damn about that. They're just doing their job.
Mr. Strickland, you stop.
I need to stop what? This is my restaurant, man.
Yeah, it is.
I need to stop what?
Right now. You're not coming past me. Okay?
What is this line right here?
Okay, this is where they're doing their
What is this line right here, though?
They're executing their
Why is
search.
it this line that I can't go
I'm
past?
actually using this as a platform that is going to stop
It ain't a platform. It's not a platform. I'm using this to make sure this doesn't happen to anybody else ever again.
You made video from a distance, but you're not going past this.
Why not pass this line? What is it? What is this arbitrary line that you just made up? Why can't I pass it? Because you said so? You know what you sound like? You sound like the government. You sound like the government that I'm fighting against because I said so. What am I obstructing? What am I obstructing? I'm standing still. I'm talking. I have every right to talk. It's called the First Amendment. It's called the First Amendment. You gonna take that away from me as well? Huh? He just said he's gonna arrest me. I want to know for what?
Everything that he said. These police officers are acting like Nazis, and just for them trying to say they're enforcing the law and they're not worried about the Constitution, that's a scary thing. We should worry about the Constitution. The Constitution is what holds this country together. If we don't enforce the Constitution above every other law, we're pretty much lost. Then we have Time Magazine awarding their Man of the Year to the president of Ukraine. I really don't know much about him. The only thing I know is that he's at war with Russia, and he signed a law in the state to say that he's not going to negotiate peace at all. So he kind of sounds like a warmonger, which pretty much goes along with what Time has done in the past. And also, for some reason, I know that he's done this on stage in front of a live audience with cameras rolling.
See.
So whatever you think that him and that other fellow was playing the piano with at the same time, yeah, that's what they were playing the piano with. And also we had the situation that just happened today where Joe Biden successfully negotiated a trade, a prisoner swap for Britney Griner. So Britney Griner from the WNBA is now free, and we traded her for the Merchant of Death.
Just want to make this point here to you because I think it's important disclosure to our viewers. CBS first learned that this swap was going to happen last Thursday, and CBS News agreed that the Griner for Bout swap, which we knew was underway, that we would not report on the details of it. This was at the request of the White House, which asked us not to make it public because officials expressed grave concern about the fragility of the emerging deal and feared it would impede the safety, perhaps even put those Americans at risk. And so we are bringing this news to you first this morning, Gail, and it is certainly good news for the Griner family.
It is so exciting, and of course, we kept our word on that. We've known about it for some time. Just to see it happen and come about, Margaret, I can't tell you how excited everybody is that was pulling for Britney Griner. This is such great news. Thank you, Margaret.
That's right, Margaret. We'll check back in with you a little bit later, and yes, CBS did hold up our end of the bargain.
So what's crazy is the news is actually praising the fact that they were able to keep a story away from the American people, which is like, I mean, of course, that is something that y'all do all the time, especially in the last 4 or 5 years. But I call this man who we traded Britney Griner for the Merchant of Death because that's what he is. That's who he is. That's his nickname, his moniker. His name is Victor Bout, and he sells a lot of weapons to everybody and anybody. And a lot of his weapons were responsible for killing Americans. So we made a good trade for a WNBA player who chose to go over to Russia on her own reconnaissance instead of trading for like a 2-for-1 deal for Paul Wilhan, who's a Marine who's still over there serving a 16-year sentence for espionage. But, you know, he was a soldier. He fought for our country. He's a patriot. And it could have been a 2-for-1 deal, but we decided not to do that because Joe Biden isn't able to negotiate strong enough. So we got a WNBA player who we don't even know what team she plays for. And honestly, comment down below right now, what team does she play for? Don't Google it or anything. But let me know, what do you think? Do you think it was a good deal? Was it a good swap? And also, do you believe in COVID? Does it still exist in your mind enough to scare you? But let me know in the comment section down below, what do you think? Also, like this video if you do. Subscribe to the Royal Family Studios pages on YouTube and Rumble. Y'all do your own research. Don't take my word for gold. Y'all stay safe, stay prayed up, and go on Amazon and check out my book, The Diary of Marvin DeWayne. Peace.